Welcome to closing ceremonies, everybody.
Oh, sad that it's over.
Oh yes, sad that it's over. Always a bittersweet day, Sunday of the convention. Did everyone have a good time?
I just think of it as the day I get to sleep again.
That is true. I get to sleep too sometimes. So yeah, thank you guys for coming out, and I think I feel like we've had a great year. So we had just to kind of recap a little bit, we had our Japanese guests out here with Taro Yoshizumi, and they're actually out sightseeing, so they're not here at closing ceremonies right now. But they're going sightseeing around Austin, so I hope you guys enjoyed meeting her and maybe even getting a drawing or a sign autograph from her. We also have Morgan Berry and Don Bennett. Thank you guys for coming out.
Thank you for having us.
So this is typically where we do our feedback session. What did you like? What did you not like? Suggestions for the future. So does anyone have anything they want to start off with? Yes.
I love you guys. Actually, though,
Yes.
cosplay went really well this year. It's been going pretty smoothly since we moved it into the cafe. Super awesome. The swap on Saturday was extremely crowded.
I heard this morning. So we have every Sunday, just so everyone else is aware, every Sunday morning we have at 10 a.m. the Ushicon Project Donut Social. And it's a more intimate kind of feedback session. It's in the panel 2 room. And we talked about that. So definitely we made some notes on ways we could make that better. So we're going to look into a bigger space.
Swappers.
So we'll definitely look into a bigger space for you guys.
Steak.
Does anyone else have anything you want to share? Yeah.
I had a couple of people ask me about, hey, is there a rave going on this weekend? And
Mention that too.
I didn't know what to tell them. I was like, I'm just a muscle.
No. Have they seen this convention center? Have they been here? I mean,
They were insistent that 2 years ago we had a rave. They were positive.
Honestly, I am much happier having pub trivia than a rave.
Yeah. That's what we have. We have pub trivia. We don't have a rave, but we got pub trivia, so.
There's
Rave or free beer?
I don't even drink, and that's a no-brainer right there.
People can't legally drink.
last time I remember there being a dance was Ushicon 5.
We probably had one at Uchi 5, I don't know.
So
Definitely before the
We
format
had
change.
one on our last Ushi,
Yeah.
big Ushi we had there.
Yeah.
Marriott,
Yeah,
Because
but
there was no concert that year. That's just right.
It was also back when we allowed kids. So.
Yeah, that was entirely before the format change.
yes. In our current incarnation, Ushicon, you will not see a rave here. You will not see a concert. So that's just kind of how we roll. It's a more laid back con. So it's just kind of.
For you guys that enjoy raving, awesome.
Yeah, I
Have
mean,
a great
there's plenty
time.
of cons
I don't know
about
what it
raves.
has to do with anime.
But there are plenty of cons that have raves. So that's where you go.
Kind of relieved that you guys don't have a rave because my brother tried to go to one of those and he broke his nose.
Yeah, and the liability issues would be one big reason.
True.
Yes. I miss Shoujo PJ Party.
I know.
It's an Ushi original. We started that.
I know. Yeah. So Damien brought it back last year, but she just didn't have the capacity to do it this year. So, but she does want to bring both of those back, from what I understand.
She definitely wants to do
Yeah.
Manly Man again. Shoujo PJ, I think the idea is to try to find someone else to host it.
Yeah. So we'll have to find someone to host that one. But yes.
Because that's what I always look for.
There's some good shoujos.
I know.
There have been good shows.
You just had to wonder the holes in your PJs, right?
Yeah.
I would just like to say I really love the expertise level of the panels at this convention. This is my first Ushi. After years of missing it due to other commitments, finally made it here, and like uniformly every single panel I went to, everyone is extremely well informed, very great presentations. I didn't have to sit through some teenager trying to be in character, and like, it was just like, okay, real people talking about academic subjects. This is amazing.
We've come a long way from when it was just Greg doing every panel.
Favorite shows like Greg hates everything in the world.
This is my dog. Isn't she awesome?
But seriously, great jobs. Like every panel I've gone to has been fantastic.
Yes. You and then you.
I also really like the panel about how to write a romance novel and how to write a sex scene. She was very well informed, but it got kind of packed in a little space.
It did, okay.
So she wants to come back again and like put it in a bigger room.
Okay. Yeah, we got so many submissions this year that we actually had this room and panel 1 and panel 2 like full up for most of the con. So it's tough, you know.
There was a reason we had some programming in the cafe this year.
Yeah.
We thought we had things locked down, and we were like, oh, here's 6 more we have to do. Okay, I guess some people are going downstairs. And yes,
I'll tell you that, going off of what Carlo said, this is the con that kind of keeps us on our toes and keeps us making sure we have to fact check everything, because we know that if we get something wrong, someone here will tell us.
Yes, you.
Well, the karaoke room was way too packed last night.
Okay. Well, yeah. Again, we're really restricted on our space. So.
but that did come up in the session earlier this morning.
That did as well.
And,
So we're looking at some options on that. We will be looking.
Right?
Yeah, they were in the suite.
That's the biggest room we have without.
Yeah, I mean, if for any overnight events, we have to have them in the hotel because this is closed. So, yeah, and that's the biggest place we can do it.
But there are options we're looking at as
Yeah.
possibilities to
Yeah.
expand that or alleviate that somehow.
Yeah.
I like the parking lot option.
Parking lot karaoke.
Yeah. I remember DJing.
Like cats howling in the
Yeah. Yes, you.
I'm not talking about like an outdoor garden section.
I believe that this is my first Ushicon, and pretty much ever since I came here, I think I've gotten a huge appreciation for Sentai.
You just made Brett extremely happy.
Power, yeah, I thought it was just Power Rangers when I saw it, because I thought it was a little bit childish, but I got a good look at it.
Brett's over there like, eggs.
You have no idea how many people I've converted at this convention.
That was a secret plan all along.
Next year, everyone bring hard drives and I'll give you free crack.
He does. Bring a flash drive, he will give it to you. I took the one you gave me last year and I showed it to like 6 other people, and now they think that's all Sentai is. It's just WTF Sentai.
Awesome people.
Yeah, I mean that's the.
Oh, sorry.
So I'll go twice. The lovely ladies and gentlemen running the Maid Cafe were very appreciative, actually, that there were events down there too. It gave them a big venue to run the events that were going to get crowded, and B, it drove business to the Maid Cafe, and they definitely appreciated that aspect as well.
Most of them, at least.
Most of them. Oh.
There was one, and I would take the full blame for anyone who was trying to have a late lunch in the cafe yesterday. I was moving things around on my schedule spreadsheet and said, okay, Google, there's a slot for that. We'll put Takahashi meet right over there. And then at Thursday, I'm putting up the individual room schedules and go, all right, cafe. I put Takahashi Mike in the cafe where people are trying to eat.
Yeah, people are trying to eat.
My bad. My bad.
maybe not so much that at the
Next time I'll not do the schedule reorganizing at 3 a.m.
Anyone else?
Praise us more.
Well, in that case,
Feed off it.
this is actually my first ever convention, anime or otherwise. And so I really what everyone said the amount a professional with the panels and just the size of it and overall organization of it was really nice because I hear a lot of scary stories about other cons too big, too fast, and too much. So I really love this just small home thing. It's really nice.
Thank you.
I'd actually like to second that. Not that, this is actually my 20th year going to conventions. I used to be a con staffer in Arizona. And I actually got to see the inside of Too Much, Too Fast from the epicenter. Because Arizona imploded after year 3 because we just got too big and too unmanageable, and it was awful after that. But I actually got really leery of going to conventions just because I didn't want to deal with the drama. And this is the convention that I've seen drama affected the public perception of it the least out of any convention I've attended in at least 15 years. And I run them anime reviews, so I've gone to a lot of conventions. You guys do.
I like your website.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't get all that active. I mean, there's a couple of other conventions that do a really great job, but I really enjoy here. I really have enjoyed my experience in here. And my wife, if she weren't hungover, she would also...
Were she with us today?
She would be echoing my sentiments as well. And just how on earth y'all got Yoshizumi Wataru?
That's all Greg.
That's all Greg.
That is really epic. Marmalade Boy is actually the reason I met Kimmy. So getting to meet and thank Yoshizumi Wataru in person was just bucket list. So thank you. This has been a very great convention.
Sorry, real quick. I don't know if I speak for everybody up here. It's always odd for me to hear compliments about how organized we are.
Behind the scenes,
yeah, it does not feel that way at the top.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I can relate.
It's like you're a swan on the water. Nobody sees how fast your freaking legs are going.
We have 2 hour-long Skype meetings. How much work actually gets accomplished within those 2 hours?
Or just like when we get here Friday morning, Dan can definitely attest. Oh, we gotta do that cable right now.
Con staff are their own worst, critics. And I can tell you that from having been a 10-year con staffer myself. So, great job.
Nice.
Okay, I wanted to make 2 comments. First, the Masu cups are fucking awesome. I love getting the Ushicon Masu cups.
That was also all Greg. I know props where you deserve it.
And secondly, I want to say as someone who goes to way too many damn conventions a year, the Ushicon staff, volunteers, everyone, it's been working with you guys has been amazing, and I love you guys.
Ditto.
You're so good to work with.
Thank you. Yes.
This might be a bit more of a question of what happened last year.
Yeah.
I noticed that you guys referenced Princess Tutu in your cutthroat commissions.
Yeah.
Was Ikuko Ito the artist for it, or was she here?
We didn't have a Japanese guest
Last year, she was here 4 years ago and 6 years ago. Yeah.
Oh wow.
She's been here twice.
Before Ushicon restarted, they
She was also
did some
working.
small events, and one of them was a Princess Tutu party. With
Yeah, it was
quack
a
off.
Princess Tutu. Oh gosh, the quack
It was
off.
the Princess Tutu party.
We had the Japanese and the American voice actors for Ahiru for Duck, and so they got into a quacking competition.
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Quack off.
Whack off.
Yeah, I think if you Google Princess Tutu quack off, it
You will
should-
find it.
I need
You
to
should
find
find
this
it.
and share this with
It's
everyone
great.
and them anime like now.
But yeah, we had the creator. It's Ikuko Ito. Okay, I'm terrible at remembering names. Was the male voice actor, the Japanese voice actor for the male lead?
Yes, Muto
Also-
and Ahiru.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then most of the American cast from Houston came out because it was ADV at the time.
Yeah.
And
Because back in the days of
as well.
ADV.
Yeah.
They were still around.
So it was a lot of fun. And
Had kind of an
it was a
odd
very
ripple-
special event.
Had kind of an odd ripple effect too, because she did the character designs for a fairly little known series, so I may be the only person who watched it, called Asuka no Miku. The Day After Tomorrow.
And there was a shout out to UT.
There was a shout out because we gave her a UT jersey as a gift for having traveled to Austin, and so she put it in the show, one of the characters wearing a UT basketball jersey.
I'm sorry?
Oh yeah, and she's also the one who designed Ushicon.
Oh my goodness!
And if you ever want to make Greg really bad, remind him of the whole UT thing.
Greg did not go to UT.
He went to Texas Tech.
He went to Texas Tech.
I wear the Longhorn convention, that's where Ushicon comes from.
Right.
I was about to ask, is she gonna come back?
It really depends. Like
That'd be awesome.
we always try to get a Japanese guest every year. Greg always tries to get somebody, but it's really hard. Their schedules are so busy, and you know it just depends on if we can find someone who's available and who we can make a good deal with. That's usually beneficial.
She also might still have that hangover from when she was doing culture.
Yeah, she's.
You can probably also find on YouTube video of Ito chugging.
That was my fault.
Yeah. But, you know,
Yeah.
we try for great guests.
Huh?
We try for great guests.
Yeah. So, any other? Yes.
Last year was my first year going to this con. No one really told me about it. I just Googled it, like anime conventions in North America. I'm sure some of you guys do it. Anyway, it was a nice break from all the like huge cons like A-Con, San Japan, not that I'm comparing. It was really nice, but I was kind of sad because I had to go to like boot camp for USA in April. So basically, Ushicon last year was what I thought was going to be my last con I would go to. But I got out of boot camp and I was able to. And the first thing I wanted to do, I told my shipmates, I was like, when I get back, I want to go to this con. So, and Dan works at staff, so he was nice enough to bring me along with him and whatnot. So thank you, Dan.
And I know, like, we're getting a lot of praise, and that's awesome. I will take as much praise as you want. But if you do have a criticism, don't feel like you can't give that. So.
Yeah, I actually do have a question for them, which was, how was parking this year?
Yes.
No, because it didn't look as bad as last year. So I'm asking you guys, how was parking this year?
Terrible.
So yeah, the reason why we asked that question is last year, we actually grew a little bit this year. So we had just a little bit, not much. And parking last year was terrible, but they were also doing construction.
Yeah, I think
They were replacing the roofs. So I'm glad to hear that parking was
I didn't have problems finding parking spots at any time I had to come.
Good.
I'm a commuter, so I live 10 minutes away.
This was the closest I got to park to the building out of all the years I've been coming here. So it was pretty good. I got like next to the building.
Right.
Buyer suggestion.
When?
Oh, I'm sorry. You go. I didn't realize her hand was up. Yeah.
No, okay, so I know you guys said you had like, I guess karaoke was really, really crowded this year.
Yes, it was in this week.
Because I know we had our anime singing show. What if you combined that and made, you know, like anime karaoke, and that would be like the last panel of the day that you could have in one of these panel meetings?
That's certainly something we can look at.
It kind of turned into karaoke a little bit by the end.
Yeah.
With like 30 seconds of commentary from them after about improvement, but essentially it became karaoke.
He sang History Maker, and everyone was yeah, it was great.
Everyone was having a blast, so I didn't really try to rein it in at all. There's no need for it.
Not throw away our shop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jerry, you have
Yeah. Just a minor thought that I had. I wasn't aware of the various gaming tournaments that were happening until I got tapped on the shoulder for a couple of them and said, hey, you wanna come in? What if above, the arcade sign, we just had like a list of, hey, here are all the tournaments that are happening this weekend. Sign up with your friendly, arcade game shows on it.
Yeah, and that's a great suggestion because we do that with like all of the other rooms.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It wouldn't be that hard, just here we go.
If I can get them to give me those schedules enough time in advance to also make sheets for their rooms, I can do that. I've been relying on them to do the ones for their own rooms.
Yeah, I was gonna say, generally we all do our own rooms.
No, I'm just saying, I can do it, but they gotta give me their schedules early.
If you're wondering why the schedules in front of the panel rooms look different from the schedules in front of the video rooms, because those are produced by the same people.
I was noticing that you guys had a tabletop thing specifically for Dungeons and Dragons, and I was slightly interested, but I'm like, I wonder if you guys would do a Mutants and Masterminds one as well.
Ooh, we just need somebody to run it.
Yeah, we need someone to run it. I'll suggest it to Lauren and see. What is it called? Oh, okay, you guys know what
Yes,
it is.
it's a superhero themed tabletop game, and I thought it'd be fun since we already have like people getting into Sentai shows, and I thought that would be super neat if we had a one shot.
Would you be looking at the D20 or the old school version?
The 3rd edition, which
D20?
is D20.
We'll definitely suggest that to tabletop. It's also, anything like that is dependent on someone that has a GM to run it and a time block to do it in.
But they know, obviously they know a lot of gamers, so yeah.
I submitted Ushicon panel this week, but no one ever got back to me on like email and stuff.
When did you submit it?
Like I think last month or so, something like that. And no one ever got back to me and whatnot.
We'll have to check. There may have been some that came in. I stopped paying attention to the form after the cutoff date because once we cut off
my
the
last
form.
Ushicon anime convention in Texas, so I was going to see if you guys ever got my submitted form and all that.
We'll have to check. We generally, once the cutoff date goes through, I don't look at the incoming stuff on the form anymore for the rest of the year.
6 to 8 weeks for the con.
Yeah, it's
it
about.
was a K-pop panel I submitted, but no one ever got back to me.
Yeah, was it in January that you submitted it?
Yeah.
And when was the cutoff?
I think the cutoff was like the second week of January.
Yeah, it probably, I imagine
it probably came in after the deadline.
Yeah.
So we just, and at that point, I didn't need to go back to the form because I had too many submissions to fit in the convention hall anyway.
Thank you.
Sometimes I'll go back, but just keep an eye. We usually try to put on the form when the deadline is and everything. So, and I'll try to get better about actually shutting it off.
Shut the form down.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're penned up, so.
Yeah,
Let me go first.
Okay, go for it.
I was wanting to know, how do y'all decide and go about volunteer staffs and stuff if we wanted to apply?
Yeah. So I want to say we open volunteer volunteer form. Sorry, wording is not happening. We open the volunteer form usually beginning of November. And we announce it on our Facebook page. This is another thing that we discussed in this project, Ushicon's project Donut Social this morning, is that I'm not as good about updating the website and our Twitter and all this other stuff. So we're going to try to get more kind of announce it in multiple places, make our big announcements in multiple places, so you can actually see when it's open. But yeah, it's about November that we open it up. And you just fill out your form, or fill out the form with whatever we're asking about, and then we'll go from there and let you know if, which staff we can put you on, or if you were accepted into the volunteer pool. So, yeah.
I know they don't. I I haven't seen it in this one yet, but when I was in Missouri for some of the larger conventions, I noticed they did a fan fiction contest.
Yeah, so we don't do contests typically.
We do an art contest this year.
We did do an art contest. That was separate from the convention though. That was
For the badges.
right. But I mean, not it wasn't part of like convention schedule.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't part of the schedule. Is what I mean. That was yeah.
So there are a few types of things that we consciously made an effort not to do to try to make this kind of low-key, chill, drama-free environment. That's why our cosplay is a showcase instead of a contest. That's why we try to avoid contests in general. At
in
the
general,
convention.
yeah.
So,
Just
is there
so
going to be a
just all
fan
your-
fiction showcase?
A fan fiction showcase.
I think the closest thing we've ever done was the Dojin book at, was that
Yeah.
Ushi 6 or 7?
It's certainly something we can consider. The big question with our size, and I'm not trying to shut the question down, but like the big question with our size is that will we get enough submissions to really make it, you know, like a showcase, you know, put something
Can we
together
say
with
how
that,
many submissions we got for the art contest?
Yes, so the art contest, we actually, most people probably don't know what this is, so I'll explain backstory before I answer that question. So in the fall, I don't remember what month it was, but in the fall, sometime we announced on our Facebook page, we're doing an art contest. So if any of you are aspiring artists, I'm letting you know now, to draw your version of Ushiko and submit it to us, and the winner of this contest will get a free guaranteed table into the Artist Alley next year. So yeah, write that down. We didn't get very many submissions, so we're actually going to extend, the deadline was January 31st. We didn't get very many submissions because I don't think I advertised it very well. So we're gonna extend that deadline, and I'm working on the exact date, but it's like gonna be a month-ish from now. But I'll post that and make sure that it's posted in multiple places. So we're gonna set the deadline. So if you are an artist, if you know artists that want to get into the Artist Alley, send it to
Ushiko.
Yeah, Ushiko, our mascot. And there's it'll have the contest rules in it and everything in the announcement. So yeah, and that's really it's cool for you artists if you want to get into the alley, because we do a lottery system. So, you know, you may, if you submit your entry to the Artist Alley, you may or may not get in, depending on if we draw your name from that. So, but this guarantees your spot if you win the contest. So. Any other questions? Yes.
The opening for the volunteer opens in November. Is there a cutoff date for that? Like, is it not like November to January?
Well, that's a good question for Damien. We have a new volunteer coordinator, and I want to say like at least 2 weeks before, but it depends on if we fill up the staff before then.
I want to say this year she sent the email at like the end of January saying that the cutoff was just going to be around then.
Yeah, but we kept accepting volunteers because things were just disorganized.
Well, no, that's because I forgot to update the website.
But we still ended up accepting some of the people who applied after the cutoff.
Right. So yeah, it'll be like I'm going to say tentatively 2 weeks before, but I'll put that deadline in the announcement as well. We might do that. So I hope that helps.
Yeah.
Yes. I just wanted to commend two outstanding panelists. The first being the game show Alchemists. I thought they were incredibly charismatic. Anybody who was here on Saturday could hear this room. We were incredibly loud, but I enjoyed it a lot. They really kept the crowd up and hyped and entertained. The second guys will have to be Vitamin H. They both have incredible personalities, they do their research, and they're such a great pair. They always play off each other. You always hear pathos, maybe have a cough, and then kid will always pick up on it. And I think that's good. So
I hate those guys though. Worst events I have seen the entire weekend.
You guys just panel this weekend. If any of you were up here and giving a panel, please stand up.
That's you guys.
A lot of submissions, they were really great. I was really happy with the wealth of options I had to choose from. And I've tried to fit in as much as I could. By the way, just you guys come over, these guys have been coming with us for 3 years. They do so many panels. They even stepped in when Daniel got called away to the meeting, couldn't run his own panel this year, so they said, no, we got another one, no problem. Well, so I mentioned this to Pathos at the sake tasting. And he called Kid, and then later Kid face to face. So there was something about a panel or something, I'm not quite sure what he said to me.
You were very socking at that time. I could not understand what he was asking.
So we clarified it worked out that took over no problem. So thank you guys so much for doing so much work for us.
I mean, we love this convention. We love all of you. We love coming here. And I love Kid. Guess what? Tomorrow, me and Kid will be celebrating 9 years together. Up here and can be very, very embarrassing. I want to let her and everyone here know that I would not have traded these last 9 years for anything in the world. Happy anniversary.
Volunteers, the staff, everyone we work with. Thank you for living with me.
And thank you, Carson, for filming that.
You're welcome.
Anyone want to follow that?
Thank you, Karsten, for filming everything.
That's
what I do.
I do one thing I want to ask, because I always try to ask every year, because I mean, I run the theaters, and I know they're kind of the like baseline nobody pays attention to a part of an anime con. But I always want to ask, was there anybody who got to see something this year that they hadn't seen before, and now they're going to go home and watch the rest? Awesome. I've done my job.
Don't feel too bad anymore.
Yeah. I just want to make sure it's working.
Excellent.
All right, last chance. Anything you really want to tell us not to do again, or definitely don't?
I'm on staff. I'm allowed.
He's like, I'm done.
Sure.
Sometimes, especially with our Japanese guests, they tend to be more soft-spoken. And then you have the translator as well, so sound can very much be a concern. And I was noticing with some of the panels, just because of the nature of how narrow the hallways and stuff are here, that there'd be conversations going on in the hallway, and you were having a hard time at times kind of hearing. And it may just be something to be made aware of, so that maybe you've got someone on the doors to just either close them, or to kind of very, politely ask if, hey, keep it down, or why don't you go talk in Maid Cafe?
That's something we can be better about. We've tried to do it some, but yeah, there are times where I had to like, somewhere else.
We may raise that to David for next year.
Yeah. I mean, if it helps any, I've also had to ask the Japanese guests not to block the doorways.
That's true.
There's definitely something we can be better about.
Oh, yeah, I think there was conflict last year, but yeah, thank you for moving the Sam Show 2 tournament to where it's not conflicting with
I was tired of having to go against pub trivia every year.
I think
one thing, you might need like a little bit more strict, just a little security and stuff. Because like last night, my friend was just like drunk, having a really good time. And then like someone came up to him and tried to pick a fight. And like stretched out his shirt too, and he was really pissed off too.
Yeah, I mean, Damien's not here, so.
Yeah, I can't speak directly to what
There,
happened.
I mean,
She's not here right now.
the trouble is, of course, is that the hotel is, we have some rooms in the hotel, but the hotel in general is not our space. We can't really do security patrols there. So.
But it was outside though.
Oh, was it?
It was outside the building?
Yeah.
All right, I
And
mean,
he
that's
was, like,
honestly
really
more.
pissed off. He ended up like kicking the trash can and stuff because after like someone making a fight, trying to take a fight with him, he was really pissed off.
Okay.
We'll definitely address this with our security staff. This is the first year we've actually had a security staff, really.
I think they generally did a pretty good job. Although I heard there was somebody sleeping who ended up sleeping in the hallway floor most of Saturday night that we didn't find, but oh well. We're still kind of developing the security and safety feature here.
Yeah,
We're
we
just
haven't really
kind of
had much of a need for it, because I mean, you guys are all adults, and generally we have.
not having teenagers helps. But we'll work on it.
Yeah, well, thank you for that.
Jerry, gonna come back and be security with us next year?
Sure.
We've got one kind of in the works, we're not sure.
All right, well, thank you everybody for coming out. We hope you had a good time. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you come back again next year.
Yeah. Thank you.
I now have